Hispanic.
White.
I'm mixed race, so white and black.
I identify as a white person.
I am Native American, African American, and white.
I identify as a Jamaican American.
I am half Korean and half Caucasian.
My race is black.
I identify my race as white.
I identify as Punjabi, which is like, nobody really knows what that is, but it's like a region in India and in Pakistan.
I identify my race as a white person.
Black or African American.
White. Very white indeed.
Yeah, I think I've definitely been treated differently based on my race because there's so many stereotypes and things associated with being a person of color, and like, of course, that comes with different challenges for every different type of race, but like for me, especially with like recent events going on, I definitely have noticed like things going on that are racist towards me and my family.
I have been treated differently, but in a different way than a black person would be treated differently. Like, I've had all of the benefits of being white and being able to not notice what other people, like how other people are treated differently. So I've been kind of like in my own bubble of just, you know, being treated correctly, I guess. I guess it makes me feel good, but I don't know, like I'm obviously at an advantage compared to other people, but I don't really know if that makes me feel good knowing that, but you know, it's something that I have.
My group of friends are diverse because I really don't care like what race they are. I just talk to them because like they have the same interests as me, or they like to do the stuff that I do.
For the most part, it's not very diverse, unfortunately. And I don't know, I think that became more and more true as I grew up. I think that things like tend to separate more over time. But other than that, I don't have like a solid reason for that.
The people that I socialize with, they're pretty diverse, but like my friend group is pretty small, and most of them are African American. They understand like the same, like we all have the same struggles, so not everybody can relate to that.
Stereotypes that are made towards my race, that we're hood and ghetto, and that if I walk around the school with a hoodie on, people immediately think that I'm trying to do something suspicious.
One big one is getting pregnant. They don't finish high school, they get pregnant, and they drop out. There's a lot of stereotypes of being mixed, but I don't know, it's a bunch of just absurd standards that a lot of mixed race people are supposed to be held to, like having really curly, beautiful hair and just having really nice, clear complexion. I don't have either of those.
I think the stereotype for African Americans is that we're supposed to be in regular classes and we're the delinquents of the school. We act crazy, we don't go to class, we skip, we don't pay attention in class. And there's also the stereotype that like most black people like need help in order to, like they need that extra push in order for us to do like honors classes and AP classes.
One of the most racist things that someone said to me is like they asked if I, like as soon as they met me, they were like, "You're from Mexico?" Like they assumed that I was from Mexico just because I'm Hispanic. Like every Hispanic is from Mexico, but that's not true.
I feel like the most racist thing that's ever been said to me was in the 6th grade in gym class. One of my friends and I were arguing, and he said I look like a monkey. And I didn't know that it was such a bad thing until I told my gym teacher, and he was like, "That's a racial slur."
My mom is Cuban, so I see a lot of like guys will like yell at her on the street sometimes and call her like a chica or something, which is just kind of like, it's offensive, but it's also just like kind of scary. And then one of like my very close friends, Alyssa, who is black, like I've seen her get like told that she was a slur, so that wasn't stellar either. It's just very uncomfortable, and it's kind of sad.
I guess I have like this weird memory of someone in 5th grade like calling me a chink, and I had no idea what that meant, but like it kind of like has always stuck with me. which I guess is not that big of a deal, but it is something that I think about sometimes because I didn't even know what that meant, but for someone else to like use that to try to bring me down is weird. But
I don't know if I can say the one that somebody said to me, but when my grandmother, since I'm Jamaican, my grandparents, they studied in London. And I remember my grandma always told me a story of when she was walking home from school one day, and this little white girl asked her mother where her tail was. Where my grandmother's tail was. Like, this little white girl was like talking to her mom, and she asked her mom, "Mom, where's that lady's tail?"
The most racist thing somebody told me was like when I was like around 5 or 6 years old. I was told not to speak my first language, which is Spanish, and that's like the main reason why I don't speak my first language anymore.
I think about it a lot because I wonder how people's perspective of me would change if I were of a different race, or what it would be like to have a different race and how drastic those differences would be. And I think that there needs to be a greater empathy towards those differences, because a lot of people who have never really been treated with any type of racism or anything like that don't think about the other side.
I think about race every day because I don't really have a choice but to like deal with it, and I always think about like what could happen. So like if like the cop are talking to me or something like that, like what do I say, or like what am I gonna do with my hands or whatever, and stuff, things like that.
It's so confusing of an issue, and I think that it's hard because people, like, since it's such like an uncomfortable topic to talk about sometimes, I think people think that they can't have conversations about it, which like, but racism isn't going to get fixed at all if we can't like break past that barrier of discomfort and like have real conversations about it. So that's probably, like, it makes me uncomfortable at first, but then I realize that like it's a discomfort that I'm gonna have to deal with, like, to talk about it. So
I think that like in school a lot of people perceive me as like kind of goofy, but also that like they kind of underestimate me in thinking that like just because I may be nicer, or like funny, like in some cases, that like I'm not smart or I'm not capable or like I can't bite back.
I hope they perceive me how I perceive myself, which is an intelligent young man who knows what he's doing in life. You know, I'm secure in myself. I know what I'm out here to do, and I don't want to be perceived as anything other than that. I don't want anybody to see me and be like, "Oh, there goes another black athlete." I just want them to see me for me.
I think that because I'm white, like I don't feel like people necessarily approach me with stereotypes. Other than that, they might think that I like have had advantages in life, which I have. Both, you know, because of who my parents are, because of my skin color. I'm not perceived with anything that puts me at a disadvantage. I don't think so.
Being black in the 21st century means to me, like, right now, like, we are really, like, powerful because, like, we pushing through all this stuff we going through right now. But then it's, like, same time, it's, like, we, like, take 10 steps forward and then we have to take 3 steps back because the stuff people be throwing at us. But I think we, like, pushing through it, like, we got it.
I think it means being resilient and being unique, honestly. I think a lot of people see black people and they admire the things that they have, the traits that they portray, like the traits that they have.
Being black is something that you should be proud of. It's not something that you should hide behind because people are going to see your race and it's inevitable what's going to happen about it. So your race is something you should be proud of.
I feel like it means being something that everybody wants to be but doesn't want to go through, because you see everybody wanting to dress like black people, if that makes sense, or our culture or the way we dress, but they don't want to go through the struggles that we go through, the constant discrimination that we have to go through. So yeah,
I love being black. It's kind of like it's a gift, you know. You show all these people like what you can do. Like, I plan on doing big things, and like I plan on like fulfilling my dreams, like going to play college ball, everything. Like, this is a gift. I'm about to show people around.